The good news is that travel insurance can protect you from financial loss if problems happen. Travel insurance covers what kinds of policies you may need and where to get the coverage that's right for you. Travel insurance is insurance coverage that provides protection in case of problems connected with vacations or trips. You can buy policies from insurance companies, or you may get travel insurance through your credit card. Some of the different types of travel insurance available include trip cancellation insurance. Different kinds of travel insurance will kick in to provide financial help or other assistance depending on what goes wrong. For example, trip cancellation insurance can reimburse you for non-refundable costs if you have to cancel your trip for covered reasons. Trip interruption insurance covers losses if something goes wrong after you've left on a trip. When you cannot continue the trip as planned for a covered reason, trip interruption insurance reimburses you for prepaid flights, hotels. Lost or delayed baggage insurance reimburses you for losses if something happens to your possessions. People travel only once or twice per year, so getting covered separately for each trip makes sense. The good news is that annual trip insurance policies are available. These typically include most or all of the most common types of protection you'd want when you travel, including coverage for medical care, accident insurance, and luggage problems. Annual policies are often very affordable, and they're convenient because they remain in effect for 12 months, meaning you don't need to buy coverage separately for every trip you take. The cost of travel insurance will vary depending on the kinds of coverage you buy, the cost of your trip, the risks you present based on factors such as your age. In general, comprehensive policies typically cost around 4% to 10% of the value of the trip that you're taking. However, you don't have to buy a policy that covers everything. You can buy protection for the specific types of losses you're most concerned about, often at a much lower rate. For example, you could get plans covering only lost or delayed luggage for less than $30 for round-trip flights to most destinations. Purchasing travel insurance is an added expense, so you'll need to carefully weigh the pros and cons of buying coverage. The biggest things you should consider is the risk that something could potentially go wrong. Your trip is very expensive, and you can't afford to lose the money if something happens that prevents you from going on vacation as planned. And if you're pretty healthy and are traveling within the United States and close to home, it may not be worth buying a policy either, as less could go wrong. When you're buying travel insurance coverage, you can't assume every policy is created equal. It's important to look for affordable coverage that provides comprehensive protection. You don't want to shop based on price alone. Instead, you want to make sure the policy overall is a good deal that will protect you against the losses you're most likely to incur as you shop for coverage. Consider whether you want a comprehensive policy or a la carte coverage. It's much cheaper to just buy basic coverage for specific losses if you only want to protect against a few potential problems, such as misplaced. But if you want multiple types of coverage, getting a comprehensive plan can be better than a bunch of small individual policies. You also need to know what types of events would trigger coverage if the trip is canceled. Always look at the fine print to see when your policy protections apply. Travel insurance can be purchased through a travel agent, or you can buy a policy independently from one of many travel insurance providers. Many companies that offer travel insurance sell policies online. You can use the internet to compare quotes and check out reviews of insurers you're considering to make sure they provide good customer service and pay claims promptly if things go wrong. It's usually a good idea to buy travel insurance coverage when you book your trip or soon after to make sure you have coverage in place. Many insurers have specific cutoff dates after which you can no longer purchase a policy, but those cutoff dates can vary from one insurer to another, as well as based on the coverage you buy. For example, if you buy a policy less than 7 to 21 days before your departure, you're less likely to be able to get coverage for trip cancellation due to terrorist incidents, medical issues, or bankruptcy of any of your tour operators. And once your trip begins, you usually won't be able to get any further coverage at all. This is especially true if you have one of the best travel credit cards, as these cards often provide travel insurance as a perk. If you rely on your card's coverage, this could help you save money on vacation costs. However, you shouldn't just assume your card's coverage will be sufficient. Some cards offer only before you decide that you can rely on your card. Make sure you. Many different credit cards provide travel insurance, but some of the cards with the best coverage for travelers include the following. Chase Sapphire Preferred Card. This card provides trip cancellation and interruption insurance that reimburses you for up to $10,000 per person and $20,000 per trip. The card has a $95 annual fee, but also offers triple points on dining and double points on travel purchases. Although the card has a $495 annual fee, it provides plenty of perks, including 5 times the points on air travel and restaurants, triple points on hotels and cruises, and 1 point per dollar spent on other purchases. Often, the cards with the best travel insurance protection have high annual fees. Knowing how travel insurance works and what the limitations are is important before you book any trip. You should always weigh the pros and cons of getting covered so you can decide if buying insurance is a good idea when you're going on vacation. Also, don't forget to check if you're covered by your credit card before purchasing travel insurance, and to always read the fine print on any policy, as you don't want to spend money unnecessarily on coverage you don't need or waste money on coverage that doesn't provide the protection you're looking for.